Trump University criticism. I communicate this from the standpoint of having a lot of personal experience as a real estate teacher over decades of being in this business. I recognize that not only is the subject material controversial, but Donald Trump is very controversial. He has both his supporters and his detractors. But in regards to the university, I had to share with you my thoughts in regards to this particular program. Going back to the early 70s, I had the opportunity of teaching for the California Association of Realtors. I did the first GRI course, Graduate Realtors Institute course, with Patrick McVeigh in San Diego. We taught that course together and we wrote the material together. It was a 3-week course done in 3 increments. I subsequently, in the early 70s, was selected to teach for the National Association of Realtors the Certified Residential Broker Program, and then after that subsequently wrote, with 3 other teachers, the CRS program for agents in the same category. I taught the first course in Seattle with Art Godey, the former president of NAR, and for the second course I had 10 teachers I was teaching in regards to that particular material. My point is, I really have been involved. It's been my passion to be involved in teaching. So when I read the criticism concerning Donald Trump and his university, I wanted to give you my experience and my opinion of that particular program. This communication this morning in no way endorses Donald Trump, but I want to be fair in analyzing what's going on in this particular controversy. I'd be the first to agree that Mr. Trump on many occasions shoots from the hip and blurts out his innermost thoughts without thinking how it will affect others. If the thoughts were deliberated upon and expressed with more diplomacy and persuasion, they would, I think, have a much greater positive impact and acceptance on the part of the vast majority of people in our overall population. Tone and image are so important. If we examine the popularity of Warren Buffett, for instance, there's a tremendous amount of difference in terms of people's attitude towards these 2 very successful figures. Now to my opinion then on Trump University. Number 1, there's no doubt in my mind that the basic real estate instruction given in that university had a great deal of merit. There are 2 vital parts to the equation of teaching, regardless of the venue or the classroom environment. The course outline can always be audited and modified to improve its content. Poor teachers can always be replaced with a better teacher and have better delivery through that better teacher. Admittedly, depending on the teacher, the content and delivery can vary greatly. Content can be outstanding and delivery can be terrible, or vice versa. B, the student who is the recipient of the material and the delivery comes from all walks of life with various levels of intelligence, motivation, ambition, purpose, and a quest for fulfillment. Unfortunately, the makeup of the student body cannot change unless there's an entrance examination where you can choose who the audience is going to be. Number 3, passion and talent are not synonymous. A tremendous urge to excel cannot be achieved without special talent. The instruction benefits will vary based on the above depending on different levels. Some students will be greatly rewarded, others will add to their knowledge, yet others will continue in their original direction with no improvement. It is the same in any classroom, and I can give various examples of that throughout our lives. Number 4, there are many examples of mixed results based on who is in the audience. From the very beginning of life, the preschooler, the youngest student, there are some that show various degrees of positive reaction to ideas and have the ability to carry out those ideas and are driven to accept the objectives of the teacher's goals and make it happen. And yet there are others in that same classroom that just coast by and survive as best they can. Survival without growth, to be candid. B, as for the balance of the school and college years, does the student have the ability to adapt to that rapidly changing market of ours and the technical world we live in, and choose the right direction for a career choice? There's nothing as constant as change. A journalistic major 25 years ago would have had much better results than having the same ambition today, with a diminishment of the newspaper industry and a lot of closing of newspapers, or choosing a career in a retail brick-and-mortar facility when we see such firms as Kmart and Sears hanging on for dear life because they're now competing with online vendors selling the same material for less price. Is natural ability in the genes? It's a great question. Another vivid example of this is what occurs in the high turnover of agents in the real estate profession. It is unfortunately true that many agents leave the business within a 5-year period. They just don't have the talent. Almost 80% of the business is produced by 20% of the agents. And why is that? Because they have the skill, the negotiating skill necessary to make it happen. Many agents do not have and cannot learn the negotiating skills. Behavior, by the way, does vary depending on who we are as well. You know, I pull up at a traffic light next to a community college, and I sit and observe students crossing that particular street. Some walk across that street straight back with a purpose, moving very quickly. Others just saunter across as best they can and eventually reach the other side. And then there are those that just ignore the stop sign and risk their lives crossing against the light when they shouldn't be doing it. It takes all kinds of people to make up this world. It takes all kinds of people to be in a classroom such as Trump University. My final point is anyone who motivates, teaches, or writes with a high profile can be falsely accused of fraudulent behavior, such as Trump. One of the most influential teachers in the world, Tony Robbins, who taught Bill Clinton, taught him, has endured derogatory lawsuits. There will always be disgruntled people. That is why I don't fault the Trump University. The course emphasis was on salesmanship, pure and simple salesmanship. Nothing happens till someone sells something. Negotiating skills escape many students at no fault of the teacher. There are too many variables in the student body.